Entrepreneurship is more than just quitting your 9 to 5 or coming up with a fun business idea. It's a process, and it can be filled with wins and dollar signs and celebrations, but not before you've dealt with some of the perhaps worst dilemmas and inconsistencies imaginable. In this video, I'm giving it to you straight. Here are 5 warnings every entrepreneur needs to know. The first one is, you will be broke for a while. And I know that a lot of people might go into business thinking this means freedom, financial freedom and time freedom and creative freedom. But the truth is, you might be trading 40-hour weeks working for someone else for 100-hour weeks working for yourself. And that might mean starting at rock bottom and climbing your way up, and sometimes investing money that you don't have, taking the leap, the risk, the investment, hoping that you are going to make a return on that investment. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way, especially not the first time. I actually have a video on my channel where I share my story of how I got myself into 6 figures of debt because I was investing more money than I could afford, thinking I couldn't afford not to. I needed to invest to be able to grow my business. And it didn't work out the first, second, or 17th try. But I also look back on that time and think that was the tuition that I had to pay to learn, to grow to where I am now, that now I have a multi-7-figure business. But I had to learn those lessons to be able to reach that. The second warning is that your friends and family might not understand what you're doing, and you may even have some well-meaning loved ones that try to encourage you to go back to the safety I say in quotes, of a 9 to 5. It's more secure there, and it's so risky doing what you're doing, and do you even know what you're doing? A lot of the times you might hear those things and take it personally because you know that they know you, you know that they love you, but know that they are often saying that projecting from a place of their own insecurities, their own fears. And the best thing that you can do is be the example by remaining strong and courageous and going after what you want. Sometimes that means with blinders on, where you can hear the well-meaning intentions that they have for you, but to keep going towards your path. I'll tell you for myself, I used to be a dental hygienist, and I had some social media clients on the side. And when I got to the place where my social media business was making more money than working 9 to 5 at the dental office, I wanted to take the leap. I wanted to go all in on this and grow it even bigger because I only had so many hours a day, and the hours I was cleaning teeth was time that I couldn't be putting into growing this business that I saw as time freedom, financial freedom, creative freedom. But I certainly had friends and family members that were concerned about that. I know my mom, for example, wanted to make sure that I was safe, that I had enough money to pay the bills, and that, you know, working for someone else when they sign your own paychecks might seem like it's more secure. But we also witnessed what happened in 2020 when a lot of businesses were rushing to get themselves selling online because it gave them more opportunity than what we can just have in a brick and mortar. So that was a big lesson for myself in leaving the 9 to 5 and going into a business, is I actually found more security there, despite what some people might think. I have 3 more that I want to share with you, and some personal stories of how this was a huge make or break in my business. But before I do, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I'm putting out videos like this every single week for entrepreneurs just like you. My third warning for you is that there are no guarantees of success, so plan accordingly. I think that goes without saying. Just like anything in life, there are no guarantees. However, if you surround yourself with an incredible group of entrepreneurs that, you know, have the skills or the talents or abilities that can inspire you, encourage you, and support you, I think you're going to have a faster path to seeing that success. But it's also really important to have systems and a plan behind you to support you along the way. I know that I took some big risks in my business where I invested more than I could afford and found myself in debt as I was investing to try to grow my business. Well, at the time I had a line of credit that I was living my life on. I had friends, entrepreneurs who had been in struggles before, like the ones that I found myself in at that time. And through this connection, this network of resources and people who are just generous with their talents, their abilities, and jumped in to help me, they helped me to make better decisions in my business that I was making from a place of insecurity, lack of experience, and showed me how to get my business back on top and be able to scale. So when I talk about planning accordingly, I think first of all, it's really important to have a financial cushion behind you, and also to have a network, a community of entrepreneurs who can support you and mentor you along the way, and also for you to be that person for someone else who needs it too. My fourth warning is one of my favorites, and it's that your health is more important than your business. I know way too many entrepreneurs who kept hustling towards the goal, thinking they were racing towards the finish line and thought, I'll be able to take care of that later, and burnt out along the way, was never able to scale their business to reach that finish line, to get that goal, and lost it all in the process. You see these stories in the movies, you see them on TV, and it's often people finding themselves in a cycle that I have to make this money, improve myself. But then once they've gotten to that goal, the next one comes up so quickly because then they need to defend what they've just created. And it's a constant cycle and never finding that space to take care of themselves. But self-care is the gateway to success. And your business will only grow to the level that you do. So if you don't create that space to take care of you, who's going to take care of your business? And more importantly, who then is going to also take care of your family? And the fifth warning that I have for you is that it's not about the money. Entrepreneurship is a game of personal development. And sure, we as entrepreneurs, we start this business because we see a problem in our environment, in our community, in our world, and we want to find the solution for it and help the people who were just like us that we want to create change for. And I think a big part of growing your business is growing who you are as a person, our limiting beliefs, our mindset blocks. Your business blocks are your personal blocks, and your business growth is going to come from self-awareness. Self-awareness comes from knowing who you are, authenticity comes from knowing who you are, and by playing the game of personal development, I learned that I'm an entrepreneur and I'm capable of evolving into who I'm meant to be so I can reach who I'm meant to reach. And because my stories and my content, my business is evolving at the same rate that I do. And your family, your team, your clients, your audience, when you enhance one aspect of your life, you're going to enhance all other aspects for yourself too. And I'd love to hear from you. What aspect of your life do you wish that you had more time for right now? Or what's one bucket that needs filling? What's an area of personal development that you need to explore next that you think is going to support you in the next step of your journey? And speaking of journey, I want to put this into perspective for you for how you see yourself in the growth of your business. I want you to see yourself in your own hero's journey. Think of our favorite movies that we love to watch. Why do we love to watch them? And we follow along with the hero, the main character, the protagonist. We watch them as they fight the villain. We watch them as they hit rock bottom. We watch them with their internal struggle, with their confidence or their fears. And then we also see them rise up. And then when they reach their happily ever after, whether that's winning the race or getting the girl or landing the dream job, we cheer louder when they win because we got to witness the whole journey. We sat on the edge of our seats when they hit rock bottom. Our hearts were aching when they almost gave up. But then when they made it, that win feels like our win too because we got to be a part of it. So I want you to witness your journey as your own hero's journey. See how your mess can become your message. And as the attractive character, you can bring your audience along this story with you as the protagonist and give them a front row seat to watch. That's what's going to create a raving following. And those raving followers can also become high-paying clients. Now, not only can your mess become your message, but if you frame it properly, it can ascend those leads all the way into, like I said, high-ticket sales. So I want to break down the exact steps for you in my next free private training. If you click the link in the video description below, I'm going to break down the exact steps so you can plug and play your way to 7-figure cash flow. In this video, I'm telling you two straight. Here are 5 warnings. What is it? I'll tell you for myself, I was a dental hygienist and I left dental hygiene to start a social media business. I think that goes without saying, I know way too many entrepreneurs who kept hustling thinking, and then when they reach their happily ever after, whether that's hiccup,